Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here. What I got for you today is a review of a neat little, is this a nano or is this a micro? Somewhere in between copter. This is the JJRC H30C. Now the H30C, if you look here, you can see that the H30C is a camera quadcopter. It has a 720 pixel camera, which is pretty darn cool for such a small little quadcopter. It also has an unusual design here. It's almost a sphere. Pretty cool looking little quadcopter with in candy apple red on top of that. I like that color. Additionally, the range on this is only predicted to be about 30 meters, so this is going to be a close-in flyer, but it also has headless mode and one key return. I'm looking at the body of this thing. The back, this is the battery bay for this. It has a 150 milliamp hour, I believe, battery. The wiring of that, though, is very thin wiring. So what I got it closed up, this door closed up for today's video, but for future videos or future flights of this, and I recommend this for those of you out there that get this, I recommend leaving the battery wire out and leaving the battery door open, because eventually that thin wire, the battery wire, and the wire that goes to the circuit board will eventually fatigue fail. It'll break, in other words, if you just keep trying to stuff it back in there again, trying to pull it back out and stuff it back in there. Just keep the wire outside the door, maybe even remove the door entirely. It's not really needed for this little quadcopter. But other than that, you know, again, very good looking. This quadcopter has very nice LED lighting too. I plan on doing a night flight tonight to demonstrate this flying with the LED lights on it. Going over the controller, my box, or the package that I got this with, unfortunately did not come with directions, so I had to figure this out for myself. But it has headless mode, which you activate by pressing in on the throttle stick, and one key return, which you activate by pressing in on the pitch roll stick. You can adjust the rates on this quadcopter from beginner to intermediate to expert, and you hear beep, or 1 to 3 beeps depending on which one you're in, by a quick press of this upper left trigger button. You can take a photograph by pressing down and holding the button for about 2 seconds. The right button activates flips. So you press it quickly and then tell the quadcopter which direction you want to flip by pushing up or down or right or left on the pitch roll stick. You turn on the video camera by pressing down and holding this upper right trigger button for 2 seconds. You turn off the camera the same way after the video is completed, or when you want to stop video recording, by pressing down and holding this button again. Remember to do that before turning off your quadcopter, or you will lose the video. These trim buttons are actually trim buttons. This is the trim buttons for pitch, and this is the trim buttons for roll. So that's about it. Let's go into flight of this little quadcopter and see how it does. I'll start off with a video, and then we'll go into actually demonstrating the flight capabilities of this quadcopter. Hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, this little quadcopter has an on-off switch. It's kind of difficult to get to, though, but my fingernails just aren't big enough to turn. There we go. I got it on that time. So you might want to use a little toothpick or something if you got short fingernails like I do. Okay, turning on the quadcopter. And that's going to be our headless mode direction, by the way. And binding it to the quadcopter, the transmitter. And we're good to go there. I'm going to turn on the video camera right now. So we're going to start off with video recording. Nice and stable little quadcopter. Let's take it up higher. Demonstrate its camera. And a little bit, I went out of range there for about a few seconds. It continues flying for about 3 seconds with the last input it had, like it's doing right now, before the motor shuts down. Okay, that's the camera. I just want to do a quick demonstration of the camera, turning off the video. Okay, let's try the one key return in headless mode. Does it remember that direction was the headless mode direction? We'll go into headless mode first. So I'm in headless mode right now. You can see there I'm applying yaw to the quadcopter. Forward pitch, that's the headless mode bearing, obviously. Pulling back. Coming out of headless mode. Let's go down that way and try the 1 key return. Pressing 1 key return. And here it comes back. So now it thinks that direction is the headless mode direction. Or is this? Yep, there we go. 1 key return again. One more time for a 1 key return. We'll go down to the headless mode bearing again. Pressing 1 key return. And there's the 1 key return. Okay, let's try different rates. Intermediate. Oh, actually, I'm still in headless mode. Let me come out of that thing. Still in headless mode. Let's bring it in here first. Okay, what haven't I done yet? Flips. Let's go to take it up, press the flip button, right flip, left flip. So those are flips. One back up again. Okay, I'm in expert rate. Let's see what type of, oh, it's got good yaw rate in expert. So this is beginner's yaw rate, intermediate yaw rate, and expert yaw rate. Expert yaw rate is insane. Okay, got a little breeze off my right shoulder here. I'm in beginner's rate right now. Wind blowing it by me. Going to intermediate. So flyability of this thing, I'd say about, you want to fly it around mostly in intermediate. Let's see what type of range we get. Okay, about 20 meters right now. Oops. Got an email. But let's put it back in the air again. I'm going to go down here to the edge of the field so I can gauge the distance. Now that stand over there is about 50 meters away from the edge of this field. So we're going to start down here and see how far I can go with control. I'm going to go slowly because this thing flies for about 3 to 4 seconds. Let me demonstrate that, show what I'm talking about. Did I lose power? If you go too long without it being bound to the transmitter, it shuts itself off. Let me turn it back off and then turn it back on again. But I want to show you what this does. Now watch, I'm going to turn off the transmitter. Let me turn on the throttle a bit. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006. 6 seconds before it shuts off, folks. So keep that in mind. Will it rebind? Lots of wildlife here. See the geese? Snow geese are still here. Okay, the battery's going down, so I won't be able to check the range. But again, the range seemed to be about the height of those telephone poles there, which is, I guess, about 20 meters, 20 to 30, somewhere in between there. As soon as I got as high as those telephone poles, I started to lose control of this thing. So it doesn't have really great range. Mostly an indoor flyer, I guess, because of that. It does have the pitch in the higher rate settings to go outdoors if you want, but don't expect great range with this thing. So it's not a long range flyer, in other words. So overall, it's a good quadcopter. Kind of like it. Let's see how the camera came out. I'll include the video with this to show how the camera works. But I hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101, signing out.